My name is Sam. I'm in grade 11 in NLCS Dubai. I'm from South Korea, and I'm currently the chair of the Literary Society. I led the Literary Society in my school for a couple of years, and yeah, during the society we talked about a lot of work by the author Mitch Albom a lot as well. So when I first read this book called Tuesdays with Mori, I absolutely fell in love with this book, and that's why I got interested in the author as well and other works that he did, etc. So, and I really thought I wanted to share this lovely book and this lovely story that the author had to the members of the Literary Society. Compared to like other novels or like poems that we usually do in the Literary Society or as in the school as a whole, it was very different, and I think the author Mitch Albom has a story that we can really relate, everyone can really relate to at some point, and also plus the messages that Professor Mori in the book said are such great messages with just strong messages in his words. So I think I think everyone in our school will enjoy reading this book definitely, and meeting the author as well. So I first read this book called Tuesdays with Mori during the summer of 2017. I remember it very clearly because I just love this book. To be brutally honest, when I first picked up this book, my expectation wasn't that high, not anything because of the book or the author, but just because of the fact that this book was a non-fiction. And even though I absolutely love reading books, non-fiction was never my thing, so I can probably like pick less than a handful of non-fiction that I actually read till the end. But after reading this book, I absolutely fell in love with this book, and it was different. It was very different compared to all the non-fictions that I read. He doesn't use any long, complicated sentences. The sentences are short, and the message is very clear, but it stays in your heart for a long time. And I think that was very special especially compared to other non-fictions that I read before. And also the topics explored in this book were topics that I really don't get a chance to think about usually. So like, for example, death is a topic that they talk about a lot in this book, and I personally don't think about death a lot of times, and I don't think it's a common topic to talk about. But in this book, like a Professor Mori in this book said, when you learn how to die, you learn how to live, and when you learn how to live, you learn how to die. And I don't think that's only applicable for actually being dead. I think that can be applicable for saying goodbye to someone or letting someone or something go. And yes, like that. It was just. I also loved the lecture that Professor Mori did about silence. So I personally love speaking with people. I personally love meeting people, but also at some point I really feel like I want that silence. And I don't think Professor Mori, when Professor Mori said silence, I don't think he only meant physically being quiet. I think he also meant giving myself a time to actually stop for a moment and think and reflect on myself. And I think that was such a lovely message. And I think, like as Professor Mori said a couple of times in the book, the world nowadays really moves on fast, and it makes everyone run towards something. So we don't really get a time to actually stop and think about why we're running and what we're running for. And I think what Professor Mori meant by silence is that giving myself a time to actually reflect and think. That was also a great story that I read. But my favorite quote was about interacting with people. And in the book, Professor Mori said, in the beginning of life, when we are infants, we need others to survive, right? And at the end of life, when you get like me, you need others to survive, right? But here's the secret. In between, we need others as well. That's what Professor Mori said to the author Mitch Albom, and I think that's just a quote that doesn't even need an explanation. The quote itself, it's just beautiful, and the message was lovely, and I think that's probably my favorite quote in this book. I'm currently reading the book, The 5 People You Meet in Heaven, the novel that the author Mitch Albom wrote. I'm absolutely loving it. As I mentioned, the writing style is quite similar with Tuesdays with Mori, I think. The sentences are very short, but the message is clear in the novel as well. And that makes the whole paragraph very powerful, with like ending with such a short, powerful sentence. I love the author's writing style, and also the book that I'm reading, The 5 People You Meet in Heaven, starts with a chapter titled The End, which was very interesting. The novel was titled The 5 People You Meet in Heaven, so you easily get to think that, oh, maybe it's about death, and that's why it starts with the end and everything. And I just finished a chapter about the first person you meet in heaven, and it made me think about a lot of stuff, and about interacting with people and relationship between people, even people that I don't really know that I had a relationship with. And yeah, I am absolutely loving reading this. It would be an absolute honor to be able to meet you. I've always loved your work so much, especially the book Tuesday with Maury was my all-time favorite, and it still is, and it really also made me look at nonfiction in a different angle. So it would be I would be so happy to actually meet you and talk to you and listen to your talk. And yeah, also I only talk with the people in my literary society, but every members in the literary society absolutely loved the story. They were so interested about the author's life as well. So I think it will be great to share this lovely book, and to let everyone in our school know about this lovely author that I've always loved.